Well, happy Mother's Day, moms. It is a special day for you. Welcome, moms that are watching online. Happy Mother's Day. Thank you for spending part of your special day here with us at Green Bay First. We are so glad that you are here. Well, being a mom, seriously, there is nothing more rewarding or better. Becoming a mom is always just as exciting the third time for me as it was the first time. Each time our children were born, it's an exciting time, and it is truly a blessing. I am blessed to have 3 healthy children, and I have said it before, but I have raised my 3 best friends. However, before becoming a mom, we have this idea in our head, right? Like what it's going to be like. Like you see the mom at the beach, and she's like super cute, got on her cute little bathing suit and her cute little sun hat, and her kids are playing in the sand, and they're all behaving and smiling and laughing, and they have on their cute little matching bathing suits, and you think, oh, that's going to be me. I'm going to be that mom. All the happy photos that people post of the delivery of their new precious child, bringing the baby home from the hospital for the first time, all the cute things that they do as they grow and get their own personalities, and you're like, yes, yes. We get excited for all of the good times that will come, how cute we're going to look pregnant, because you see those women that are like just the baby bump. Yeah, those people. The fun birthday parties that we get to do each time they have a birthday, the fun family photos that are captured that people post, that all the kids are getting along and everybody's smiling and looking at the camera. We think, yeah, that's going to be me. The firsts. We get so excited for all the firsts, right? The first coup, the first step, the first day of school, the first school dance, the first time you get them watch them play a sport. That was always exciting for us. Maybe their first choir concert, and the list could go on. All of the firsts that you will get to experience will be such a blessing. Then you start having children. Now, don't get me wrong, ladies, they are a blessing, but you start to think that there is seriously something wrong with you. You think, what is wrong with me and my family? You think that everybody else has it together, and you don't. You start to experience things that nobody ever warned you about before having children. Like the fact that you can no longer fit into your clothes during or after you are pregnant. I absolutely did not look cute pregnant with my girls. Let me tell you, I blew up like a balloon, not just in my belly, if you know what I mean. I had what you would call cankles, right? It went straight from my calf to my ankle. There was no, yeah, you get the drift, okay? Yeah, it was ridiculous. I gained 40 pounds with each of my girls, and my husband, he was rude. Now, I know this is going to surprise you, but we would go to the doctor, and as if I already didn't have enough anxiety already getting on that darn scale, he would take his foot and put it on the back of the scale. He's rude. Nobody ever warned you about the fact that you may be nauseous 24/7 for most of your pregnancy. I didn't gain near as much with our son, Jace, and that is because I couldn't eat. I was sick all day long. I was nauseous. And I was not aware that foods that you loved before getting pregnant, you would not be able to eat while you were pregnant or even after. Chinese food, I loved it. Then I got pregnant with Jalissa, and one step into a Chinese restaurant, I almost lost my cookies. And I have not been able to eat Chinese food since, and she's 19. Nobody warned you about this stuff. Nor the fact that you will now get, we're going to talk about this. The fact that you now get woken up by leg cramps. Like, what is that? You're sleeping soundly, and you wake up with this shooting Charlie horse in your leg that about sends you to the moon. Did anybody else get those? Because my doctor said it's yes, see? Thank you. You know what I'm talking about. For real. And I think that our husbands, they should have to at least get these while we're pregnant. I mean, they get off easy. I'm telling you, I'm going to have a conversation with God when I get to heaven, and I'll let you know what he says. Because I'm serious. I think they should have to deal with that too. I was also never warned that labor can literally last for days, weeks. See, nobody tells you this before you get pregnant. Or the fact that when you are ready to finally deliver this precious child into the world, they turn on these huge car-looking lights, right? Now, the first child, you don't know what you're getting yourself into, so you think, oh, those are nice. I mean, I already feel a little vulnerable laying here, and we're just going to put big lights on it, but that's cool. After that first child, you know what those lights are. Those are lights of pain, because you are now ready to push this child out. Yep, it's scary. Now to deliver the baby, the head is out, and you think, whew, thank God that's over. And the doctor, they're so cute. We had the same doctor, just a little side note here. The same doctor that delivered my mom delivered both my sister and me, and then her daughter took over the practice, and she delivered all 3 of our children. Thank God for her. But then they say something cute, like, the head is out, and you think it's over, and then they say, here come the shoulders. And you're like, yay. Once the child is finally born, nobody tells you that there is no Starbucks delivered to your bedside. Nobody tells you this. Now that the child is here, we think it is smooth sailing and we can finally have our bodies back. Then the nurse walks in with these cute little mesh undergarments and some nursing pads, and you now feel less attractive than you did 9 months pregnant wearing your husband's t-shirt and sweatpants because you cannot fit into your own clothing. It's great. Also, after having this child, you now have to pack extra clothes, not just for your child, but for yourself, because nobody tells you as a nursing mom that when your baby cries on the other side of the house and you hear it, you now have to change your shirt. Why does nobody tell you this? You don't get a full night's sleep for a very long time. If you did, there's those women that are like, my kid slept after 3 days. Don't tell me. I don't want to know. I don't want to know. Jalissa was 2 years old. I was almost popping with Jace, and we had to get her to sleep through the night because she still was not sleeping through the night, and we needed the crib. It was pretty ridiculous. I mean, this stuff is real after you have children, and nobody warns you. At least they never warned me. They also never warn you that you could wake up to a screaming child in the middle of the night that may look something like this. Yep. Have kids, they said. It'll be fun, they said. Or that could happen to some of you moms right before you came to church, right? You're already running late, and you're like, oh my gosh. Yeah, it's fun. We also like to play this game before becoming a mom called I Will Never. And you cannot tell me that you did not play this game because everybody plays this game. I will never let my child sleep in my bed. I will never feed my child fast food. I will never get angry with my child. I will never let my child eat candy for breakfast. I will never have a teenager who rolls their eyes at me. I will never. And then you start having children, and you do all of these things because it is now called survival. You're laughing because you're there. You understand. You remember back to all the experiences that you thought you would have as a mom and what would be so blissful, and nobody ever really prepares you for motherhood. And thoughts like this video may just sum up how you are feeling.
I saw that going differently in my mind.
Yeah, I think I've said that to me before myself. You go on those family vacations, you spend all that money, and you were like, what was that about? Like, people don't post pictures of that, but it's life. I have once heard it said, parenting is like buying 4 bananas and watching them all get eaten in one day. So you then go back to the store and buy 8 bananas and watch them rot on the counter because nobody likes bananas. Am I the only one that deals with that? I can't, yeah, no, thank you. What does reality look like in a normal family? Well, just because our kids grew up in a pastor's home does not exempt us from having experiences. So I have been given permission from my children, just so you know, to share some of these memories with you that were moments that nobody could have prepared me for as a mom. Reality moments for me as a mom, these are just a few, so sit back and enjoy. Jordan, at age 2, candles, carols, and communion service. She was holding mommy's candle. My husband was the children's pastor. It was our first full-time pastor position. We're sitting front row, and she's holding my candle, and I'm standing next to her. You guys, I look away for 2 seconds. I swear, it was only 2 seconds. And I look back, and she's still smiling, but she has no candle in her hand. And I said, Jordan, honey, where's your candle? And she looked down, so I looked down, and in front of us is a floor vent in the floor, and she had shoved her candle through the floor vent. Now, thank God it was made of metal, so as the candle went through it, put the wick out, and that's cool, but I thought, leave it to the pastor's kid to burn the church down on Christmas Eve. I'm like, Matt, come off the stage and get your child. What do you do? Nobody ever was told that the candle was in the vent, just so you know. It's probably still there 20 years later. That's cool. Jalissa and Jace jumping in Jace's crib, having a good old time until they fell down at the same time. Jalissa's toenail came in contact with Jace's eyeball and slit his eyeball with her toenail. Took a trip to the ER, and he had a patch over his, remember that? He had a patch over his eye for weeks. It looked so sad. And I was like, yeah, I'm a good mom, I promise. I just wanted to get the dishes done, okay? Jace was probably about 2 years old, and we were at a public pool, and he was playing in the pool, and then all of a sudden there was something floating in the pool. It gets worse. This little girl takes off towards the guard, and she's like, that little boy pooped in the pool. Then they announce over the megaphone, we're shutting the pool down early. There's a foreign object in the pool. Everybody out of the pool. Yeah, my husband wasn't there for that one. He owes me. I could not get out of there fast enough. I was like, oh my gosh. I used to teach the rainbows class. I was in the nursery with my kids, and I kind of moved up with them as they got older. And I taught rainbows for many years. And Jordan was 4 years old. And I left to use the bathroom, and I came back, and the other leader was looking at me funny, and I said, what? She said, well, Jordan was standing on the table, and she said, I told her she needed to get off the table. Now, mind you, my husband was the children's pastor, and she looked at me with her hand on her hip. I know this is going to surprise you knowing Jordan, and she said, I don't have to. My daddy owns this church. We had a come to Jesus moment in the bathroom. Me and Jordan, it was very precious, the little time between mother and daughter. She never did that again. Jalissa doing a happy dance in her room over who knows what, ends up jamming her finger so bad she had to put a finger splint on it for weeks. Jace at the Starbucks line, asking me very loudly, and this was very out of character for him. That's why when he did it, I was just kind of like, where in the world did that come from? Jace is our very obedient child. He's a very, he's a rule follower, right? And I'm ordering my Starbucks, and he said, Mom, can I get something? And I said, no, you may not. And he says very loudly, you're a mean mom. Kid, wait till we get home. Me trying to come up with a discipline for my 3 children fighting in the very back of our van on our way to clean a commercial property. Like my arms did not reach far enough to be able to swat them. So as a mother, you know, we're geniuses. We come up with like these things really quick. So I said the only genius thing that came to mind to me, which was, if you don't stop your fighting, you are all getting lettuce and water for dinner. And this 4-year-old little boy from the very back of the van says, I like lettuce. I like water. Ladies, these moments, you have no idea how to truly handle them because you don't know they're coming. Nobody can truly, fully prepare you for motherhood. We are literally now in survival mode, and there is no turning back. And what happens to us as moms, we cannot prepare for. I mean, we get so busy at this point in our life. I know for me, I was a young mom starting at age 18, and life got busy really, really fast. It seemed like each day was harder than the previous one as we had kids back to back, and I was tired. Every 2 years, I was popping out a baby. I mean, you'd think the man would have given me a break. At this point in our lives, my husband and I called this one Walmart trip at a time. That's how we survived. If you could take all of our children in tow to Walmart and not have a meltdown in one of the aisles, it was a good day. So that's how we called our life at that point, one Walmart trip at a time. As moms, we are usually so focused on what's next, and we get so wrapped up in life that we forget to focus on what really matters. If you are a mom and you are blessed enough to still have your children in your home, I want you to listen to me very carefully this morning. The name of my message today is Slow Down and Enjoy the Journey. Father, I pray that you would use me today, Lord, through my nerves. I pray that you would use me as a vessel. Lord, I have prepared and prepared and prepared, and now the victory rests in you. I just pray that you would use this message to transform lives, that you would bless the moms in here today and the moms watching online, and I thank you for using me. In Jesus' name, amen. Well, a shout out to our youngest, Jace. He's going to be 17 tomorrow, so happy birthday, Jace. Man, I mean, I cannot believe how fast it goes. It seems like yesterday that our oldest daughter, Jordan, was born, and she is now 21. And as the kids are little, you think that there's always going to be tomorrow to slow down and enjoy quality time with them. I mean, we're so busy when they're really little, changing diapers, burping the baby, making sure laundry is done, dinners are made, the house is clean, the children are bathed, toys are picked up, and naps are scheduled just so. 1 o'clock was our nap time when my kids were little, and this mama went nowhere. They all laid down, and I got housework done. It was glorious. And we all know that when you have a newborn, you feel like you live at the doctor's office for appointments. I mean, what is up with that? They want to see them like every 2 weeks and then every month, and it's ridiculous. You feel like you live there. You feel like this season is going to last forever, especially if you are like me and you have several children all just a couple years apart. And then you blink and they're in school. Now you start the season of making sure that schedules are coordinated, drop off and pick up is done, lunches are made, sports are attended, homework is done, the 1,000 emails from each teacher. I mean, what is that about? It's like they write you a book, and when you have multiple children, you're like trying to read the important stuff, right? But you don't want to miss anything, but you don't have like 2 hours to sit down and read it all. Parent-teacher conferences are scheduled, doctors and dentist appointments are on the calendar, the house is picked up, clothes for the next day as well as backpacks and shoes are laid out, showers are given, bedtime snacks are served, and everybody gets tucked in for you to get up the next day and do it all over again. Round and round you go, Mom, right? You are told by several people that once they get in school that the years will fly by, but we are so busy we don't even think that there is much truth to that. And before you know it, they're in high school, and they're playing sports or working or both, so you don't feel like you see them. They're now just as busy as you are, but they are driving themselves, and they don't need you as much. You have all the planning for the school dances, the choir that they attend, senior photos are getting scheduled. You wake up one day and you now have a child graduating from high school, and when you feel like you just graduated yourself and you think, how in the world did we get here this fast? Our second child, Jalissa, is graduating in just a few weeks, and then next year, our youngest son, Jace, graduates from high school. And we will be completely done with this season of our life, yeah. It goes so fast. I sit back and I'm almost in disbelief that we can truly be to the end and within the next few years, maybe even be empty nesters and starting the next season of our life without our kids in our home. I mean, people said it would go fast, but I honestly had no idea how right they would be. And I think back to how fast it went, only to wonder, did I do it right? Had I slowed down enough to truly enjoy the journey? We get so busy focusing on what's next that we forget to enjoy the last. And it makes me sad to think that I could have been so busy that I didn't recognize the blessings that were in front of me. Sorry, I'll get through this. I knew it was going to be rough, so bear with me, please. There are so many moments that we look at as chores or just another thing on our to-do list that we forget to remember and think, could this be the last time? If we knew it was the last time, we may slow down and enjoy the journey a little more. Could this be the last time that I get to change my child's diaper? Could this be the last time I get to nurse my baby? Is this the last time they're going to ask me to read them a book? Is this the last time they want me to tuck them into bed? Or sing them a nighttime song? Is this the last time that I get to help them get dressed or brush their teeth or their hair? Is this the last time I'll hear from the bathroom, Mom, come wipe me? Is this the last time I'll get the privilege to drive them to school? Is this the last time I'll get to ask to put a Band-Aid on their boo-boo or attend one of their sporting events or choir events? Is this the last time I'll get to watch them go to school? Is this the last time I'll get to drop them off or pick them up from work? Is this the last time that I will get to move all of their cars out of the driveway in the morning? Now, my husband will miss this someday, but right now, you guys, we have 5 drivers, and then if Brett's there, we have 6, right? And especially in the winter when he has to clean off everybody's cars and move them out of the driveway so he can clear the driveway, it's a chore. But he will miss it someday. Maybe not now, honey, but you will. Is this the last time I will get to pick up all their shoes that they dump by the back door? Is this the last time that they will sleep in my home? These are things that drive us nuts, right? But if we had in our mind how blessed we are to even have children, then maybe, just maybe, we would be more like Mary in the Bible. We're going to talk about Mary and Martha. It's just a very short verse. These are 2 sisters in the Bible. It's in Luke chapter 10, 38 to 42. And it says, as Jesus and his disciples were on their way, he came to a village where a woman named Martha opened her home to him. She had a sister called Mary who sat at the Lord's feet listening to what he said. But Martha was distracted by all the preparations that had to be done, and she came and asked, Lord, don't you care that my sister has left me to do all the work by myself? Tell her to help me. Martha, Martha, the Lord answered, you are worried and upset about many things, but few things are needed, or indeed, only one. Mary has chosen what is better, and it will not be taken from her. Martha's greatest concern after inviting Jesus in was, she's like, I just want to be a good hostess to Jesus, right? Like, I would want to do that if Jesus was in my home. Now, is there anything wrong with making sure that things are done? No, not at all. That's not what Jesus was pointing out here, but he is concerned with her distraction from what she should have really been doing, which was to be present in the moment and be a good listener to what he was saying. He even says that Mary chose what was better. So this tells me that what Martha was doing was a good thing, but there was still a better choice. which was to slow down and be a good listener and be intentional on the moment given to her to spend with him. Can us as moms relate to that? I mean, I know I can. As moms, we sometimes are so concerned with being like Martha. We have our to-do list, which as moms never ends. Each day we get up and there is always something to be done. We think that the most important thing is that our to-do list needs to be done first. If you work outside the home, maybe for you it's making money to bring home to pay the bills. Now again, these are good things. But if we get so consumed with letting work control us, especially when we should be home and present with our children, there may be an issue. There is a time for answering emails, text messages, or even computer work, but then there is a time to choose what is better. Hang up your work hat, Mom. Go to the game. Read the book. Take the kids to the park, sit down and listen to how their day went without all the distractions of social media. Hebrews 13:5 says, "Keep your lives free from the love of money and be content with what you have, because God has said, 'Never will I leave you and never will I forsake you.'" It is okay to not work all the time and to slow down for your children. Men, I'm speaking to you as well. I know sometimes you can work, but your kids are growing up fast. God's word says he will supply all of our needs. Slow down, Mom, and enjoy the journey. I know when my kids were little, I was very OCD, and I still am today. I love a clean house and a clean car. Like, it's just a good feeling to get up in the morning and the house is neat and tidy and your vehicle is clean. I spent a lot of hours making sure that my home and vehicle was neat, and I still do to this day. I find value in myself as a stay-at-home mom to make sure that when my husband got home, that things looked pristine. Now, that wasn't something he placed on me. It was just something that I always did. I mean, even ask my kids when they were little, each toy had its own bin, and they were neatly stacked. So Polly Pockets had theirs, like Jill's just shaking her head, yes. Everything had its own bin, and they were labeled, and they all had a place to go. And when it was time to pick up, if they would throw it all in one bin, I mean, they could come up and tell it better than I did. I was the mean mom, and I would dump it all back out into a pile and make them organize it the way that it should go. You want to know how many times they did this? Yeah, just once in a blue moon, because they thought, man, if we would have just done it right in the first place, Mom wouldn't be doing this. If there is a piece of grass or fuzz on the kitchen floor, I'm telling you, I'm sitting all the way across the room and I see it. It's almost like it's shiny objects for me. And I'm like, hey, go pick up that piece of grass over there. And they're like, how do you see that? My home being clean is very important to me, but I can't help as I have gotten older and my children are no longer little. Did a super clean house really matter all the time? I mean, I would do anything to see their pudgy little fingerprints on that back door again. Now it's the dog. I clean the glass door, and Bella puts her little nose up there. I just want to kick her. Not really. Did the laundry not being done or the dishes in the sink really matter that much to not take the time to sit with my children and play with them? Now, again, there is nothing wrong with cleaning your home or taking care of your home. You should take care of the things that God has blessed you with. Be a good steward of it. But you have to have balance. Having a clean home is important and it is good. But sometimes we need to be like Mary and choose what is better, which is time with your children. It's okay to have a few dishes in the sink and a piece of fuzz on the floor. I'm learning this as I get older. I'm 40 now, and I can finally maybe let it sit there for 10 minutes instead of like 10 seconds. So we're getting there. It's okay to order out pizza for dinner sometimes, Mom. We don't have to be the kid in the front row. Yeah. We don't have to be perfect all the time and have a spotless home or a hot meal every single night that was prepared from scratch. Let Pizza Hut or McDonald's do the cooking every now and then. It's okay to throw in a frozen dinner every now and then because you are up to your eyeballs in housework or work, and you just don't have the energy to do it and play with your kids at the same time. Yes, as a health coach, I am giving you permission to go to Taco Bell every now and then and get the kids dinner because they love it. Right? Nothing like a Taco Bell burrito. When we don't feel like we have to be super mom all the time, we can choose what is better, which is to slow down and enjoy the journey. Listen to me, moms. This thing called life, it goes by so fast. And I don't know about you, but I want to leave a legacy for my children worth remembering. When I pass away from this life, I don't want the only thing my kids to remember is a clean home, how much money I spent on them, how fancy I dressed, or the car I drove. I don't want to be remembered by how in shape I am or how organized my schedule always was. I want to be confident in the fact that I'm going to leave a legacy that will outlast me. I want my kids to be able to say I had a mom who was in love with Jesus, who served the church faithfully, who always provided food to eat, who was always there to listen to me, who lived her life as a woman of noble character, who served faithfully and tirelessly. Our mom always held our dad to high esteem. She never talked gossip about other people. She lived her life with such joy and fragrance. And she could light up a room with the fragrance of Jesus with skin on. She was my greatest encourager, and she always prayed for me. Now, I know the pressure to be all of these things can feel a little overwhelming, but our kids aren't looking for perfection. They just want us to choose what is better. Matthew 6:24 says, "Do not worry about tomorrow, for tomorrow will care about itself. Each day has enough trouble of its own." This is a reminder to truly enjoy the moments with your children. Don't spend so much time worrying about what could be that you forget to enjoy the now. Your kids need you now. They need your attention now and not worrying about tomorrow. One day and one moment at a time. Proverbs 22:6 says, "Train up a child in the way that they should go, and even when they are old, they will not turn from it." The definition of train is to teach a person or an animal a particular skill or type of behavior through practice and instruction over a period of time. This scripture is clear on how we should parent our children. How we parent our children now will mold them into the adults that they will become. Put God first in your life, and they will see the example set before them. I promise you, Mom, they are watching you. If they see you being faithful in your time and resources to God, they will follow in your footsteps. If you never pick up your Bible or pray, you can't expect your children to. You're the first example they should have. If you never teach them how important it is to tithe to the house of God, how can you expect them to learn that their first fruits belong to Him? If you only come to church when you feel like it or once a month, how can you expect your kids to learn how to put God first on Sundays? I know in our house growing up, Sunday night, and Wednesday night, it was never a, "Mom, are we going to church?" They just knew, get in the car, we're going to church. Period. It wasn't a discussion in the Miller household. We were there. Psalm 127, 3-5 says, "Children are a heritage from the Lord, offspring a reward from Him. Like arrows in the hands of a warrior are children born in one's youth. Blessed is the man whose quiver is full of them. They will not be put to shame when they contend with their opponents in court." Ecclesiastes 3:1 says, "There is a time for everything and a season for every activity under the heavens." This season of having children in your home to train them and teach them in the way that they should go won't last forever. I know it's a busy season, Mom, especially if you have little kids. I know you're tired. I know the laundry is calling your name. Work is swallowing you whole. Dishes are needing to be done. Dinner has to be made. The toilets need to be scrubbed. And the list could go on and on and on, because as mothers, there is always something to do. But like Psalm 127 says, our children are a heritage from the Lord. They are a blessing. Let's do our best to set a godly example for our children. But don't forget, when life gets so busy that you feel like you can't keep your head above water, the season of them being little won't last forever. Coming from a mom of 2 adult children and our youngest who will be graduating from high school next year, you guys, it goes fast. It goes so fast. Let's be like Mary in this busy Martha world. Take it one day at a time. Live your life in a way to leave such a legacy that you want to be remembered by, and one that will outlast you. This Mother's Day, may this be your permission from your pastor's wife, and a good reminder to us all to choose what is better. Slow down and enjoy the journey, because it won't last forever. Happy Mother's Day, ladies. God bless you.